WTOC exclusive. Nearly a year after a massive fire ripped through that warehouse at Ocean Terminal, Georgia ports, we have a first look inside the newly built warehouse and an update on the investigation into what caused that fire.
The Coast Guard captured this video from their helicopter the day of the fire. Flames and smoke billowing into the sky. 56,000 tons of rubber from Indonesia burned. Multiple agencies responded and had to pump water from the Savannah River to put that fire out. No one was injured, but the damage was extensive.
Now, the aerial view looks a whole lot different today. It took less than a year for the Georgia Ports Authority to rebuild almost the exact same warehouse. Our Elizabeth Rawlins joins us live from Ocean Terminal from Georgia Ports. Elizabeth, you got an exclusive look inside.
I sure did, Sunny, Jody. And you can see this is the warehouse right behind me. It's filled with cargo. It's been operating since about January, but crews worked around the clock to have it done as quickly as possible.
We would have never dreamed we'd have had a fire to this extent.
For Executive Director Curtis Folks, this day also seemed like a dream, walking through the finally finished warehouse. Much of the city came to a standstill on February 8th, 2014, partly because many roads were shut down and most folks couldn't help but keep their eyes on the smoke that filled the sky. When it was all over, the damage was extensive and the work to be done seemed endless. But Folks says they didn't have time to dwell on it.
I hadn't spent a lot of time thinking about the fire. We, as quickly as we could, mobilized contractors to rebuild the facility. So we've just been looking forward to getting it back up and running.
It only took 11 months to rebuild the more than 100,000 square feet space. It's basically the same building housing the same product, rubber. But the mystery remains, what caused the fire?
But ATF's got it. They've done thorough investigation of all those that had access to the facility, various people that were working here. Polygraphs were done. They've taken product samples, sampled the buildings and similar buildings. They've got it at their test center. They're testing different types of product to see if they can ultimately identify what the cause of the fire was.
ATF officials say it's still unclear whether the fire was intentional or accidental. The folks at the port are hoping they never have to relive this experience, but Folks says they're prepared for the worst.
We brought all those experts in to look at all of our 1.4 million square feet here at Ocean Terminal and our buildings at Garden City to ensure that the fire suppression equipment that was in place met all the requirements and the guidelines, and it does.
Now it cost them nearly $6 million to rebuild. Some of that cost was covered by insurance, and they're still trying to work out the rest of those claims. As for the investigation, ATF investigators have taken a lot of the evidence to a test lab in Maryland. This is video of that very facility. It's the only lab of its kind in the U.S., and officials say deadly fires will take first priority. Investigators have had to spend a lot of time working on a 2013 fire in West Texas that killed 15 people, so they've not been able to focus a lot of attention on the Georgia port fire. Of course, we'll continue to follow this and keep you updated. For now, we're live from the ports. Elizabeth Rawlins, WTOC News.